So I made a video last Wednesday. Business as usual, just talking about the night before's SmackDown Live. Nothing big, nothing bold, business as usual. Right? We're used to talking about lackluster Raws, lackluster SmackDowns. Didn't think anything about it. I did my thing, I uploaded, and we all went about our business. But it didn't take long. After just a couple of days, I realized that this video was taking on a life of its own. It started to gain a lot of traction, a lot of eyeballs and a lot of ears. And upon further review, my conclusion was evident of why this was taking on a life of its own. You see, I raised one simple question in that video. Simple, yet quite complex, but a question nonetheless. And that was, why is it that it is always Vince's blonde bombshells in the main storylines, in all of the storylines, all of the time? When over here you have talents like Naomi, Sasha, Ember, Kyrie, Asuka, the list goes on. You'd be delusional or lying to yourself if you honestly believed that this 73-year-old man named Vincent Kennedy McMahon only sees money and only sees value in just his blonde bombshells. You'd be delusional or lying to yourself if you thought otherwise. That is where he has always seen his money. That is where he has always seen value. He is stuck in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. He will not get with the times and see that the talent is over here. And a big form of that talent, a big entity of that, is in the form of minorities. Deal with it, but it is the case, Vince. That's the truth. A lot of people in that video that I put out last Wednesday were really adamant about calling that out. About calling out the fact that Vince does in fact just see this one type of person, one type of female, and he sees that as money, he sees that as value, but he does not look at anyone else as such. And it's not just race, I assure you. A brunette, a redhead, whatever it be, Vince will still not see the value in that as much as his blonde bombshells. That is the truth. I'm sure it still irks him right now that he has to have Becky Lynch as a champion because she had all the momentum. Vince had to give her the title. I'm sure it pains Vince McMahon to have to put a title on Bayley right now because Sasha left, and in order to do damage control, he had to put the belt on Bayley. Do you think if Sasha didn't leave, do you think Bayley would be SmackDown Women's Champion right now? Do you think that's what Vince had planned? Sasha and Bayley will lose the tag titles at WrestleMania, and then Bayley will become my champion. Yeah, that's it. No, this was a fuck you to Sasha when she left. Now look, your best friend's champion. Ha! You know, Vince is that petty, and on top of that, it was damage control. Becky had all the momentum in the world. She had to have the title. Sasha walked out on the company. Bayley had to get the title. I'm sure that even pains Vince. But the issue I have is the talent over here on the side that is not getting any TV time, and it is downright criminal, and that is Ember, that is Asuka, that is Naomi, that is Kyrie. And over here, you have your Alexa Blisses, your Mandy Roses, your Lacey Evanses, and it would be Charlotte too if Charlotte didn't request time off, thankfully. Otherwise, they would find something on TV for Charlotte, I assure you. Alexa Bliss, let's start off with her. How many concussions has she had? And then when she tries to come back, there's looming effects that end up taking place. Unfortunately for Alexa, that absolutely sucks. But the fact that it takes her so long after these concussions, that's not good. She's a liability up front. Then come to find out she's missed the last couple weeks of TV or house shows because of a long sinus infection. It's always something with this girl. How do you not look at her and say it's a liability in any company you work for when you miss that amount of time? You're a liability. You're easily prone to injuries and illnesses, and that's not good. I'm not saying you lose your job, but why not take her off of the pedestal that you put her on? Which, by the way, nobody understands why she's on that pedestal. She doesn't have immaculate skills. They're decent at best, and that's only at times. On the mic, you're gonna get the best of Alexa Bliss. But even on the mic, she's not captivating anybody. So why is she always in the main storylines, even when she's getting injured for months and months, or getting sicknesses or illnesses, and when she comes back, she's thrusted into the main event storylines all the time for the females, always going for championships. Why? I have to ask the question, why? When somebody over here like Sasha Banks can't even get on the TV, even when she becomes a tag team champion, she's irrelevant. So much to the fact that she had to leave WWE. It's gotta be pretty bad when somebody who lives and breathes professional wrestling has to leave the top organization in pro wrestling, which until AEW gets full throttle is still WWE. And somebody who lives and breathes pro wrestling, lives and breathes this business, had to literally leave because she wasn't happy the way she was being used, booked, creatively speaking. Every which way under the sun, she knew she was being misused. And over here, Alexa is getting everything under the sun. How is that fair? Sasha has immaculate skills that can go 10, 15, and even a 20-minute match at a pay-per-view if needed. Alexa Bliss, you give me a 5-minute masterpiece that Alexa has worked. I won't even say 10 minutes. Give me 5-minute masterpieces. Exactly. So you can see why people get angered that it's always Alexa. 2 years ago at fast forward, right? Extreme Rules. Elimination Chamber's long gone. 2 years ago, when it was Extreme Rules, it was Bayley and Alexa Bliss for the championship. And here we are 2 years later. Bayley, through happened circumstance, she just fell into place with this championship because Sasha left. But who's right there 2 years later with Bayley at Extreme Rules this Sunday? It's Alexa Bliss. Nothing has changed in years. She is still in the top spot, even though her skills have not improved drastically, and even though she has been injured numerous times since, and hardly ever being used in the ring on Raws. She always just has a talk show because she's protected. Vince doesn't want her getting dropped on her head. She's constantly protected. But why? Because she's a bubbly little blonde with a banging behind? Why else? And everyone else is backstage playing Nintendo Switches and reading Harry Potter books. Or sitting and catering, eating oranges and Fruity Pebbles. Come on, man. And then you go into Mandy Rose, right? The list can keep going with this blonde bombshell pack. Mandy Rose. She comes out of Tough Enough. Not even a wrestling background. 1 year in NXT, and she's already full throttle on the main roster. Had there's my Elimination Chamber quote. 2 Elimination Chambers already under Mandy Rose's belt. And a Survivor Series. So she's had a Survivor Series elimination match and 2 Elimination Chambers all in the year she's been here. And Ember Moon over here can't even get on TV. Ember Moon has not had one storyline since she's been on the roster for 1.5 years now. And yet she spent the same time as Mandy Rose did in NXT, maybe even longer actually, when Ember Moon actually had a wrestling background. She was on the indies years previous. Why did she have to be in NXT just as long as Mandy, and why did she get to the main roster after Mandy? Makes you think. Why does she not have any storylines and Mandy has them all? Elimination Chambers, we're talking Survivor Series elimination matches. She's been in storylines you're going to remember with the Usos. Shit, Naomi wasn't even a big part of that. It was more Mandy Rose and the Usos. And Ember gets nothing. Mandy gets it all? Sasha gets nothing. Alexa gets it all? Lacey Evans comes out of nowhere and has been for the past several months now in this feud with the champion right now, Becky Lynch. Lacey Evans. You're not telling me she's more athletic or more skilled than someone like Naomi or Asuka. You're not telling me that. Yet not just 1 month or 2 months, several now, Lacey Evans is catapulted from day one and has never left the top spot or top storyline. You don't even got to throw her the championship. She's constantly right there, front and center for the world to see on your television sets, getting all the attention, all the spotlight. Naomi can't even get on TV. So you're trying to sell me that Alexa is better than Sasha. You're trying to sell me that Mandy Rose is better than Ember Moon. You're trying to sell me that Lacey Evans is better than Naomi and Asuka and Kairi. You're trying to sell me on that. But I'm not buying it. Because I got a brain in my dome piece. I'm not delusional, and I know what I'm talking about. I know what I see, I know what I hear, and I know what is happening. This is Vince McMahon and his 73-year-old wisdom that he thinks he still has, saying this is what brings in the money, this is the value. Minorities and such, that's good for an enhancement talent. They're good when we go to New York and Chicago and we can put their mugs on the promotional work, up on the posters, right? Right up there in the Barclays Center. We'll put Naomi front and center. But Vince, she's not even on the card. It doesn't matter. We need to show we're diverse. So Naomi's good enough to be on all these posters, but she's not good enough to be put in your storylines. Right? We all had big expectations when Naomi won the championship, the SmackDown Women's Championship, and then we thought about it, it was like, oh, it's Black History Month. So this is for the company's image to be fucking bright, right? She wins it in Black History Month, and then she gets injured, so she had to drop the championship. When I feel they could have kept her with the championship. They've done it before with Alexa Bliss, where they've let her keep the championship even when she was injured. But instead, they were really quick on taking the belt off of Naomi. But Naomi ended up getting it back at WrestleMania, and I think because they realized their folly, they realized there was a backlash. So they had to give the belt back to Naomi. We really thought she was going to get this run, and they put her in nothingness for the next several months. And they eventually had her lose to Natalya at SummerSlam. She lost the championship to Natalya. After having nothing really. If you gave her some badass storylines, Naomi's got the skills and the talent and the athleticism to catapult and rock the nation. But nothing. That was the closest Naomi was going to get to any sort of limelight in that company. At least she got the title twice. Like Sasha, at least she got it 4 times. But when you put all of Sasha's title reigns together, it equaled like 83 days or some shit. It didn't even equal 3 months. 4 different title reigns. So Vince can look all good. Oh, I put the title on them before. You didn't give them anything. So they had the title. And here we are, 2019, and all I'm seeing in the very limited spots that are available, all I'm seeing is Mandy Rose, Alexa Bliss, Lacey Evans. Charlotte requested time off, thank goodness. If she was still around, she would be in all the storylines as well. They would make something, they would create something just for Charlotte. And Ember Moon would still be playing Nintendo Switch and reading Harry Potter backstage or sitting around catering. Naomi, who knows where she would be? You had to put her on the side of a milk carton because nobody would know where Naomi is. She's not even being used in most of these backstage segments. Sasha Banks, we know, she hightailed it. She had enough, she called it quits. Asuka and Kairi, they're hoping that one day they actually get their tag team championship match with the Iconics. The last month plus, you didn't even know Asuka and Kairi was a part of the organization, did you? Exactly. They did everything they could to keep these awesome talents to the side. But they'll use them when they go to Japan. You'll see Asuka and Kairi captivating the world in Japan, right? That doesn't make sense. Captivating Japan in this world. It'll be that fucking location where Vince will utilize Asuka and Kairi. In fact, how funny is it that they were just in Japan and Kairi and Asuka won a match that determined the #1 contenders for the Iconics tag straps? Yeah, that happened in Japan. That's the only time you'll see Kairi and Asuka get anything huge. Vince immediately ruined Asuka's undefeated streak. Almost immediately. For no reason. We were hoping there was reason behind it. No, it became evident after just a month or two there was no reasoning behind it. He just had her streak end. Charlotte needed to be the badass entity. No reason. Kyrie gets called up for what? Just to be put on the back burner. Not even get TV time. Welcome, Kyrie. You can't get TV time. Lacey Evans just got called up. Alexa's back from her latest concussion. Why would Kyrie get TV time? I'm being foolish to think so, right? It's just absolutely ludicrous to be seeing this in 2019 with the level of talent that we have right now in that company and where we are at, where we have evolved in pro wrestling, the matches that we could be getting. BC, why are you so upset about this? Because think about the wrestling that we could be getting in WWE at pay-per-views. With Ember Moon in there, with Sasha Banks, with Kyrie and Asuka, Naomi and her athleticism. Think of those matches. And instead, Vince is stuck in this 80s mentality where they're blonde, they're pretty, they can do some wrestling moves like kicks and punches, and clotheslines, and maybe a body slam, and that'll do it. Listen, I'm all for seeing beautiful women in there, man. Absolutely, that's awesome. And luckily for me, all these women that are not getting any TV time are beyond beautiful. Your Ember Moons, your Sashas, your Naomis, your Asukas, your Kyries, they're beautiful. So we get to see beautiful women that can actually wrestle. There's a concept. They don't have to be blonde to be beautiful. The fuck? Give them chances, man. Give them actual storylines. And this is where we are in 2019. We can't see damn great wrestling matches or even good wrestling matches because we can't even see the talents that would put on those good matches. They're in the back, they're in catering, or they got so fed up they left. Or we don't even know where they are anymore. But when you turn on your TV, there's Lacey, and there's Alexa, and there's Mandy Rose. Get ready for your maybe we're gonna get a decent match at the pay-per-view. You know, we've set the bar so low and our standards have dropped so low because Vince only gives us his mediocre talent. And I don't care if that hurts people's feelings. You could be the biggest Alexa fan. You could be the biggest Mandy fan. You could be the biggest Lacey fan. If you watch this channel religiously, you know I speak highly of them. I try to point out their positives when everyone else is pointing out their negatives. I'm one of their biggest fucking supporters as far as reviews go because I could be extra harsh. I could be damn harsh on them, and I'm not usually. I usually try to point out the positives. I try to point out that they're getting better. They are evolving. They're adding something to their repertoire. I love talking positively about all those talents. But there's no reason they should all be in main storylines all the time. For the past several months, and in Alexa's case and so on, much longer than just a several months. And you have all of this talent just sitting backstage at catering or getting fed up and leaving. Why? This all could have been avoided. If you just looked at what you had, got creative with them, and let them go to the fucking stratosphere and never return. Strap that rocket and let them soar. That's all you had to do. They'll bring in the revenue. They'll put on world-class matches and bring in the money. They'll have people talking about their 15, 20, 25-minute matches. Just let Asuka and Sasha one-on-one do what they do. Let Ember versus Naomi, you put them a fat storyline. I don't care if one's got to go fucking heel. You put Naomi and Ember in there and you see what they do. You're going to be captivated too, you 73-year-old doofus. Get up. Get with it. Get with the times. Yes, it frustrates me. And again, you can go to the men's side too. That's a whole nother opening of Pandora's box. We're not even going to get into the men's side. Right now, you just stick at the women, and that's the issue right now that can easily be solved. And it's just a refusal. This guy is stuck in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and he just wants the next blonde just like the Alundra Blaze era, into the Trish Stratus era, into the Charlotte Flair era. And even with Charlotte Flair out of the picture, you still got to put up with Lacey, Mandy, Alexa. You know, it's that type of thing where talent is talent. And in 2019, we want to see exceptional wrestling too. Absolutely, we want the storylines. but give us the exceptional wrestling, man. You're not giving that to us with Lacey or Alexa or Mandy. And that's the truth, man. Charlotte can get away with that. Not every blonde that walks into your company is going to get that. Give it time, guys. Give it time, and you'll see the next fucking blonde bombshell, and the next way, it's a fucking an assembly line. And you say, BC, well, Liv Morgan's not getting any time. And so Liv Morgan has a little bit of a fan base because people want to see Liv get up there. Liv's not getting a chance. Well, guys, give it time. If she keeps her hair blonde, Vince will take notice. If Alexa really has to exit WWE one day because of an injury, Lord forbid, but if that ever happens, Liv will get her chance. And a lot of Liv's fans will after just a few months going, this kind of seems forced now. I don't know if Liv deserves, I can speak, if Liv deserves this championship opportunity for 12th time in a row. I'm telling you, man, give it time. All these blondes will get their chance, and all these other females will just be stuffed in the back, and when it comes time to use you for a promotional poster, you'll get used. When Black History Month comes around, you'll be used. When we go to Japan, you'll be used. You know? The other 52 weeks while we're in America on TV, you'll be in some backstage segments every now and again. Best we can give you. You know, this isn't clear cut, guys. This is a fucking, it's one of those things where, or should I say it is clear cut? What the fuck am I saying? What wouldn't be clear cut is like the Ariel thing for Disney, right? Who's playing this fucking Little Mermaid shit? Okay, that can be up for discussion. That's fine. You know, half the country or half the world thinks that's fine. What the fuck's the big deal? It's a fictional character. She lives under the fucking sea. She's gonna be played by a black girl. That's fucking awesome. The other half of the fucking world is saying that's a problem because that's not Ariel. That's not who we fucking know as a character. Like, you can call her fictional all you want. You can say it's make-believe. You can say it's pretend. You can say she lives under a sea. But she's really real. She's very real to a lot of people. Because that character is an entity. It's one of the fucking 9 Disney princesses, or 900, or however many they have. It's one of them. And now she's completely just altered. Now she's black. That's a difference. You know, like, how the fuck is that? That's not the Ariel that I know. So you totally switched the character. So you have half the fucking world saying, I'm okay with it. What's the big deal? And the other half is like, it's a big deal because I wanted the character to look like the character. And even if she came out as a white person with fucking blonde hair, I would be pissed off. That's not Ariel. Ariel is white with red hair. If she came out as a white girl with brunette hair, I'm going to be pissed. I'm not going to watch it. That's not Ariel. Ariel's white with red hair. Not white with blonde hair. Not white as a brunette or black hair. They'd be pissed. So now Ariel, it's not even a hair issue. She just came out. Now Ariel is being played black. What the fuck? So they're probably like, that's just not Ariel. Now, who knows? When it's all said and done, it could be a fucking badass movie, greatly remade, and this Barry girl, whatever her fucking name is, Bailey, I don't know the whole situation. I'm not going to see the movie. I wasn't going to, and I'm not going to because I've never seen The Little Mermaid, nor do I give a shit. I just know that this is hot in the news because she's being played by a black woman. So, she could hit it out of the park. She could look amazing. Maybe she's going to be blinging with red hair and she's going to look immaculate. Nobody knows. Maybe they have a plan, man. Give them a chance. But you can see both sides of the coin, right? You can see why half the fucking world would be like, I see no problem with this. It's probably going to be banging. And the other half that really took Ariel and took Disney princesses as a real thing, they're mind-boggled. This looks nothing like Ariel anymore. This isn't the Ariel that I know and that I want to see up there. You know, to them, it was a very real thing. I don't know if I guess you could say person, right? I mean, people take this Disney shit really serious. And it was a real entity to them. And now it's totally altered. My point is this, you can at least debate that. That's fine, right? I mean, that's in the eye of the beholder, and you go over there and you have your discussion on it. But with this, there's no debating or discussion. It is constantly these fucking Vince's blonde bombshell pack always in the storylines, even when they come back from injuries or illnesses or they've already had their opportunities and chances, they get right back to it. It's never ending. And they're just collecting. They're all just, it's like Pac-Man. All of these entities from NXT, they're all these immaculate talents are being stuffed into one little catering room and not being used. And then when they do, who's it gonna be? You can only do 1 or 2 big storylines at a time. So say they finally give Kyrie and Asuka something. And maybe they finally give Ember something. Then Naomi still has nothing. Sasha's coming back to nothing. You're telling me they're gonna give everybody something? That's what I mean. All of the spots they are using is just to one group. If you don't see that, then you're delusional or you're lying to yourself. Those are the facts. It's 2019. Vince needs to look at these women. I don't care if he doesn't like minorities or not. He has to look at where his talent is, see the fucking beauty in them, not just physically, but what they can do in that ring is also beautiful, and let them shine. Get with the times, man. I understand you're 73 years old, but you have got to evolve with the world. Because pro wrestling has evolved, and what these ladies can do in that ring is exceptional. Far better than what you're seeing out of Alexa, Lacey, and Mandy. And that's the truth. I'm the Amplified Man. Thanks for letting me ramble for 25 minutes. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys this weekend for the podcast. Where I'm going to have a little special thing in that podcast. We're going to do a little cooking with BC. I'm going to show you how I make an immaculate frozen pizza. That's right. Doesn't make sense, does it? You'll see what I mean on the podcast. The Amplified Man. For now, we're saying check you.